Another tough pill loss to swallow. And yes, I know a lot of people are going to say, Ray, we're supposed to be taking 2 out of 3 of a lot of these series. And I agree with that. But this was a game to be had, because what happens is it's not only just a loss to a lowly team who was 25 games under 500 coming into today. It showed what the Mets lack. And it's something that is, there's literally a street sign that is glowing outside of Citi Field with all of the problems that the New York Mets have. And it's something we've been talking about on this channel with you guys for the longest time. But before we get into this post game, if you guys could just do me a favor, smash the like button on this video, hit that subscriber button, consider becoming a member. We figured out what was going on with the members only. There's a link below in the description if you're interested in being guaranteed to have your questions and comments read live on stream. It's right there under become a member in the description. But with that said, Kodai Senga. Kodai Senga has been probably the largest disappointment on this team in the second half out of everybody. We could point to the Juan Soto's not getting clutch hits, or Pete Alonso swinging at balls out of the strike zone, or Mark Vientos swinging at balls that are 2 feet outside, or the umpires calling strikes that shouldn't be called strikes. Kodai Senga coming into today has been horrible. The month of August, I was looking, his ERA was like 5, 6, or 7, and it only got worse. And it's not like the other team and the Washington Nationals are a good slugging team. They're not a good slugging team. And on top of that, Senga's breaking balls floating right over the middle of the plate. There's been no adjustments made. This is going on 6 or 7 starts in a row. How do you go from perennial, no doubt, Cy Young candidate to start this season the first few months, and all of a sudden you are Corbin Burns? It doesn't make any sense. How do you just drop off the face of the earth? And this is a glaring weakness when it comes to the New York Mets, because outside of Kodai Senga, our other so-called ace, Sean Manaea, has been just as bad. That's why today I sent out a tweet earlier saying, you know what? Kodai Senga supposedly does better with 5 days of rest. All of our pitchers, Peterson, Manaea, Senga, Holmes, even Montas, everybody's 30 and over. This is not a young pitching staff. Give them the 5 days. Call up Brandon Sproat. I don't know what we're waiting for. DFA Ryan Stanek. I doubt anybody picks him up. He stinks too. Brandon Sproat has allowed 2 or fewer earned runs over his last 7 out of 9 starts. 7 out of his last 9 starts, he has allowed 2 or fewer runs. And yesterday, he goes 6 innings, gives you 8 strikeouts, allows 1 run, and is throwing 99.2 miles an hour, striking out the world in AAA. And let's be honest, everybody hits at AAA. Luis Angel Acuna gets sent down in every single day. He is 2 for 3. That's why I was so confident in Nolan McLean coming to the big leagues. Shout out, we had that report first of him coming before Andy Martino reported it later on after us. But that's what made you feel so comfortable about Nolan McLean. You're in a hitter's league in AAA, and he was dominating. And Brandon Sproat has been utter dominant over his last 9 starts. He's had a couple of hiccups in there. I'm not going to say he hasn't, but what pitcher doesn't? At this point, what we're putting out there needs to change. You get a stellar, to quote the great Joe Beningo, a stellar performance yesterday from David Peterson, followed up by another terrible effort by Kodai Senga. I want to look at his game log really quick so you guys know I'm not nuts. The month of August coming into today, in 3 starts, his ERA is 4.5. 4.5. And now his ERA is over 6 for the month of August. This is not a blip on the radar. And then let's go back one more month. He had 3 starts in the month of July, 12 innings, 7 earned runs. That is horrible. 5 and a quarter. So now we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight starts. Go back to his 7 starts, last 7. His ERA is over 5. And we're supposed to feel confident heading into October with this team? It doesn't matter how much you can hit. If Kodai Senga can't sit the Washington Nationals down out of all teams, imagine what the Padres or the Dodgers or the Phillies or, dare I say, Milwaukee Brewers are going to do to him. It's going to be an utter bloodbath. And I don't want to get too upset. You win tomorrow, you take 2 out of 3, you do exactly what I asked. But the issue is how we're losing. You want to lose 4-3. Senga goes 5 and gives up 3. Okay, we'll consider that a crappy start, but we can live with it. At the end of the day, Senga's been terrible. Right now, you guys let me know down in the comments. Maybe I'm off my rocker, but you tell me, going into a 3-game series in San Diego in October, if we make it there as the Reds, I got to look at the hometown scores. Let's take a peek around the league really quick. I don't know if the Reds are playing today. Let's take a peek. Because we were a game up on them. Now we lost. We might be tied. Let's see. I don't think they play. They played today, but they played the crappy Angels. We may be waking up tied tomorrow. Think about this team last year that we were all cheering for. 6 games away from winning a World Series. They are on the verge of missing the playoffs. We were 18 games over 500 not too long ago. Now we're on the verge of missing the playoffs. It's stunning to me. Stunning to me. But maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know. You have Peterson to start game 1. Who's starting game 2? Are we that confident already that Noah McLean is going to be starting game 2 and be able to handle that? But that's why I want to bring up a Brandon Sproat. Because if he is successful the way Noah McLean was his first start, it changes the outlook on this team drastically. I'm telling you, I said it earlier in a space today. I would not be shocked if Sean Manaea continues to get lit up. Let me actually pull up his game log so you guys don't think I'm nuts, for those of the people that aren't continuously checked in on the channel. Here we go. Sean Manaea's last 3 starts, and they're all against solid clubs. And that's how you know it's an issue. On 8-4, 5 2/3, 5 earned runs. Against Milwaukee, at Milwaukee, 4 innings, 4 runs. And then Seattle, 5 innings, 4 runs. The month of August, Sean Manaea's ERA is a 7.98. If you take Senga's last 7 starts and Manaea's last 7 starts, they got a combined ERA probably around 6. It's 14 starts. Those 2 guys are supposed to be leading this rotation. Think how crazy that is. It really is. But with that said, guys, make sure you give it a thumbs up. We're here every day trying to cover the team with you guys as much as possible, and I appreciate the support so much. It's awesome to see how far this channel has grown. But with that said, we're going to lead it off with Steven. Steven, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. You know you don't have to do that. Your opinions are always welcome here. Here we have it from Steven. Mendy has to know that Terrence can hit in big spots, and Mauricio's strikeout gets us to Lindor. Senga stinks. Look, I was thinking the same thing. Another thing we got to address. What's going on with Brandon Nimmo in the stiff neck? That could be a catastrophic. If Brandon Nimmo is out for any extended period of time, there is no excuse not to have Jet Williams up here. I don't want to hear he's young. He's hit. He's dominated everywhere he's gone. He's been doing really well at AAA since we sent him there. Bring the youthful exuberance. I don't want to hear Jose Siri. Tyron Taylor hasn't had an at-bat in almost 2 weeks? I think April 4th, might as well be April. August 4th or 7th was his last at-bat. It is the 20th today. They don't trust him. And I agree with you, man. I'm like, this is a spot where Starling Marte would be up. The right-handed hitter off the bat against the lefty. You just knew we were grounding into a double play there. You knew we didn't have a shot. Steven, you are so right. And we're in trouble, man, with our starting pitching at least. You could go out, you could acquire Tyler Rogers, you could acquire Gregory Soto, you could acquire Ryan Helsley. It doesn't matter if your pitching can't go 5. It's an issue. Who do you trust right now? Outside of David Peterson, let's be real. He's even struggled up until last start. He's had a little bit of ups and downs. That's why something Dan always talks about in the program, having a legitimate ace, that Jacob deGrom at the top of the rotation, that Matt Harvey type, that Syndergaard type, that Wheeler type. Every other contending team has these guys except the New York Mets. And think about this. If Sean Manaea can't turn it around, how terrible David Stearns looks. Because between Frankie Montas and Sean Manaea, next year they're on the books for $40 million. You got Manaea around 22 to 24 and Frankie Montas at $17.5 million. Imagine what $40 million gets you on this team. Of Valdez, who might be a free agent from the Astros. All of a sudden, you're not getting him because you have Frankie Montas and Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea better turn it around. And the one thing that concerns me the most, it's one thing if you have control issues. His velocity is clearly down 2 ticks. Throwing 92 is a massive difference from throwing 94, 95. That's what I have to say about that. Let me get to some of your guys' comments. Andre, Senga is a huge problem. Frank, Ray, Senga. Okay, we'll keep that. Guys, try to keep it clean for me. It's hard for me, especially when I'm by myself. I can't go through all this stuff. I want to bring you guys' comments up here, but don't get me demonetized, please. We work so hard for this program and to bring you guys the best content. So do me a favor. Try to keep it clean. Emmanuel, Singapore needs to go back to the bullpen as he used to be. Bring up Sproat and Jonah Tung. From everything that I've heard, Tung has less than a 0% chance of coming up this year. That's everything I've heard. Frank says, worried about Senga. Also follows up, how can he not hit Torrens with Mauricio? The issue is Mauricio this year, his splits I saw earlier, like a couple days ago, he's hitting like 180 something or 160 something against lefties. He is terrible. Unless you want to say, and it'd be a horrible idea too, but I'd rather Mauricio up there trying to bunt for a hit and at least get the tying run to second with Lindor coming up. Lindor, who, let's be real, he's been down as well. 3 strikeouts yesterday. I forgot what exactly his stats were today. Francisco Lindor today, 1 for 3 with a run and a walk. So not terrible on the day. I would like to see Juan Soto do something. He is back to hitting under 250. Juan Soto's hitting 249. That can't happen. You're a career 281 hitter. It is August. Juan Soto hitting 249 is simply unacceptable. Yes, his OPS is still 882, which is amongst the best in the league, but it is a disappointment. You want to see him in that 270, 280 range where he's not up there looking for the walk. And again today, 2 strikeouts, 1 early. He's watching strike 3 right down the kisser. It can't happen. Juan Soto's supposed to be this great player, and I've watched him watch strike 3 way too many times. If it's close, Soto, you know you have to foul it off. Enough with the complaining about the umpires missing close calls. There's no AVS this year. You got to swing. Something we've all learned in Little League. If it's too close to take, you got to swing. If it's close, you got to foul it off. You're supposed to be the elite back control player. You need to start playing like it. Damn. Robert, did Dan get fired? Dan was on the post game yesterday. Dan actually had a commitment to another live stream. He's got people pulling him in for guest spots on other platforms. So when that happens, I'm happy to do it on my own. I've had that happen to me as well, where when I went away, I went on for a couple of guest spots. Dan took over a little bit in the off season. So, and you guys are going to have that a little bit coming up at the end of September before the playoffs start. I'm going to be going away with my family, and you guys will have Dan here. But no, Dan did not get fired whatsoever. Dan is a Christian brother of mine. And that's one thing a lot of people don't know around here. We are a Christian-based New York Mets podcast. That's how I like to say it. Buzz, what's going on, my guy? One of our members over at Metcast on YouTube hasn't been the same since he pulled that hamstring. Yeah, man. Look, here's my thing. If you are pitching and you're healthy enough to pitch, I don't want to hear the excuses. And Dan reported earlier this year, it's getting around the league that Senga's kind of soft. If you could get 1 or 2 hits again, to me, kind of crumbles. And that's something we've seen over his last 7 starts. If we're going to have any success, Manaea and Senga are going to be at the forefront of it. Those 2 guys with Peterson. And I can't believe it. There's a legitimate chance we miss the playoffs. Washington's one of those bad teams we're supposed to be beating up. You think right now this pitching staff is going to shut down a Phillies team who we're going to be playing 7 more times very shortly? It ain't going to be easy. I'll tell you that right now. And I agree. Mauricio's not ready, Buzz. That's a good point. Let's see what else we got going on here. Get to a couple more. We get to one more before we finish off today, guys. Appreciate it. I've been trying to keep the post games between 15 and 20 minutes, not diving crazy into so much going on here, but I know a lot of you guys feel like it as well. Let's see. Paul says, I'm tired of people saying Senga is an ace. I agree with you. He was early on. He had 1.5 ERA. Should have been an all-star. He can't go past 5 innings. He has multiple runners on base in every inning. Always trouble. He is a joke. He ain't good and ain't. Yep, I agree. I'll tell you this. Next year, Kodai Senga is set to make $15 million. He should be this team's 3rd or 4th starter. You want to make David Peterson your 2nd, Manaea your 4th, you got to get a legitimate ace in here. But that's for next year. We're trying to win this year. And it ain't going to happen when you have Sean Manaea and Kodai Senga consistently failing to go 5 innings and giving up 4 runs every start. It's just not going to happen. Buzz says they're not even going to make it to the playoffs. That's horrendous stretch. Is going to be too hard to bounce back from. Way too many blown leads. I agree. And today wasn't even a blown lead. The team's fight. You saw the team had fight, which is good to see. But Mullins, man, Cedric Mullins killed us. Bases loaded, and he pops out to right field. We all had that sinking feeling. He was not going to come through right there. We all felt it. I felt it, and you guys definitely felt it. That was the game right there. Steven says, don't you have faith in the team? I do have faith in the team. That's why I cover them. I'm one of the biggest Mets fans you'll ever meet, but I also say this. I say it how I feel. I wear my heart on my sleeve. That's a part of this podcast. I've said it a million times. We've had sponsors come to us and say, Ray, if you're a little more positive about the team, we can no. I am who I am. When things are going good, I'll say it's good. When things are bad, they're bad. A positive thing, Brett Beatty, somebody who I said 2 weeks ago should be playing every single day. And I stand by that again today. That huge walk that he had early after the monster home run, 450 feet, needs to be playing every single day, even against lefties. You're only going to improve against lefties if he plays every day. And it's not like Mauricio's tearing the ball off the cover at third base neither against lefties. So that's something that I would definitely do. Every day, Brett Beatty. Been saying it. Mark says, Mets are done every day. Bye-bye. This season's over. Season ain't over. Jed is still adjusting to AAA. Yeah, I still think he isn't ready from Robert. Well, you know what, Robert? I'll tell you this. He can't be worse than Tyron Taylor, who's hitting, 118 over the last month? Give me a break. Let's see what else we got going on here. Dolo says this game was winnable. I agree. Taylor's at bat in August was a mistake also. I should have been Mullins' plan. There's a lot of mistakes you could point back to, and I don't want to be a Monday morning quarterback as well. But in that time, I'm like, it's just that Mullins at bat killed us. Mullins at bat killed us. We'll get to a couple more here. Daniel, appreciate providing it at Atlanta, Philly, Miami. Miami's going to be home. Detroit is a beast. That's going to be hard. Look at that stretch. That is the stretch you need to watch out. It's not Atlanta, Philly, Miami. It's Detroit, Cincy, Philly, Texas, San Diego. 4 out of those teams have a great chance to be in the playoffs. Maybe even 5. Oh, and then Chicago Cubs, another playoff team. So 5. It's wild because you're like, even if you go 500 there, you're not making the playoffs. The Mets have dug such a hole, getting your asses kicked by the Pirates and by the Guardians, both teams who sold at the deadline. That's going to come back to bite you. That year we won 101 games. We didn't do things like that. Dolo says, Soto got his money and doesn't care. Man. Madeline, we suck, Ray. Appreciate you chiming in, Madeline. Hope everything's well with you. Only a half game out. We are in big trouble. Yeah, well, it might be flipped. Might be a tie. When is McLean starting again? When did he pitch? He pitched Saturday, so you have Sunday, the off day, Monday, Tuesday. He'll probably be pitching. He might be pitching Friday against Miami. Is it Miami Friday? Or that's next week? He might be pitching this Friday. Goomba, what's going on, my guy? Yep, we're back. It's only one game. We crush them tomorrow. A lot of people will be thinking different. That's how I got to say it. Okay, Robert, I didn't know that. I know he was hitting. Well, it's also limited at bat. Jet is hitting 250-ish in Syracuse. Let's see. Last I checked, he was hitting way better than that, but it might have fallen off. It might have. Okay. Now I got to correct you, Robert. I appreciate your chiming in. Jet Williams in 6 games in Syracuse is hitting 348 with 1,009 OPS. And for any of you guys, look, I'll put it on the screen so that way you don't say, Ray, you're lying. He is absolutely crushing it. Let's see. Share screen. Here we go. Jet Williams, as you guys could see right here on the right side, I'll highlight it for you. AAA. See right here, 6 games, 348, 1,009 OPS. He's got a homer in 6 games, 1 RBI, and he's got 0 stolen bases. So nothing crazy, but he's hitting the ball. 348 is nothing to slouch at. Better than what Tyrone Taylor would do. I knew I seen that somewhere. I couldn't be right. Let's see. Get to a couple more. Ray, you are right. Thanks, Madeline. Appreciate it. Dolo says, call him up. Okay. Andre says, Jet is hitting 250 after tonight's game. That's the issue with only a couple of games. You know, whatever. He's hitting 250 after tonight, 350 coming in. He's only playing in 6 games, so an 0 for 4 could kind of do that to you. But something's got to be done. Look, maybe Nimmo's going to be fine. Maybe it's just precautionary. But now we have injuries. Alvy's going down, hurts the bottom of the lineup. And let's see what happens with, Brandon Nimmo. You got to make some type of move if he can't play. You're going to start playing Marte in the field. He's going to get hurt. Everybody knows Starling Marte is going to get hurt if he's playing in the field every single game. It's almost a lock at this point. But that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you smash that like button. We'll be back tomorrow with another post game. We'll see if we can do it right after the game. Dan and I will probably be here together. He had other things to do tonight. He had another live he was invited onto, which is all good. Dan is a part of this platform. Guys, we got to lead it off like we always do. Let's go Mets. Peace.